It's never the wrong time of year for a Santa mug. Hey guys, so I'm here today with my endpoint wrap up for the 30-day reading challenge. I only did one update video during the challenge because I'm really slack, so I'll link that one down below if you want to check that one out. I only did that video on the 23rd day of the challenge, so hopefully this video should be nice and short because it only covers 1 week of reading. I'm going to jump right into the books that I read and then finish up with my thoughts on the challenge. So since my update video, I've read 2.5 books, which I know is a tiny number, but seeing as it was only across a 7-day period and I was actually away with my friends for 3 of those 7 days, I'm happy with that number. So the first book that I read was Mary Poppins by P.L. Travers. I absolutely adore the movie and I went to see the musical last year, but the only book that I'd read before was the Disney novelization, so this one was a big surprise. Mary herself is quite a different character in the book than she is in the movie. She's much more serious and much more no-nonsense, even with all the magical things that happen. But I think in a way, her very stern character helped to ground the story amongst all the magical things that were happening, and sort of made them feel more magical by comparison. So this was really different than I thought it was going to be, but it was still really wonderful and still really endearing. I don't know if I'll hunt the rest of the series down, but if I find them somewhere, I'll definitely grab them. The next book, which marks the 10th book I read in this challenge, was My French Whore by Jane Wilder. This is historical fiction set in World War I, and it's essentially about this soldier who goes on a journey from cowardice to bravery, and I'm not too sure how I felt about it. It was really short, and I feel if it was even just a little bit longer, there could have been more time for character development and for me to get more attached to the characters. But it had some really touching moments and some really funny moments, even though it was pretty difficult for me to imagine the main character as anyone other than Gene Wilder himself. I'm not really sure what I was expecting when I picked up this book. I guess it was a pleasant surprise. I think I'm going to have to digest this one a little bit more before I know exactly how I felt about it. And then I've started this one but I haven't quite finished it. It's 7 Little Australians by Ethel Turner. I'm about 88 pages in out of 200, so not quite halfway through yet, but I just love it so far. It's so endearing and so sweetly written. It is pretty much what it sounds like. It's the adventures of this family of 7 little Australian children. As you can expect, they're pretty cheeky, they get into a lot of trouble, and it's just a lot of fun to read about. This one as well wasn't quite what I was expecting. I like the way the chapters sort of carry over with each other and all the stories intertwine, as distinct from Mary Poppins when all the chapters are distinct and separate stories. So I am genuinely enjoying reading this one. I just got a little bit distracted by some other books, but I'm sure once I jump right into it, I'll breeze right through to the end. So all up across the challenge, I read 10.5 books, which adds up to this very beautiful stack right here. All up, I read 1,764 pages, which is an average of 58 pages per day. Obviously that number really doesn't compare to my original goal, which was 4,500 pages, but as I discussed in my update video, the further I got into the challenge, the less important that overall page goal was to me. What I found mattered to me more at the end of the challenge was that I was really enjoying the reading that I was doing. I was finding spots in the day to squeeze some reading in, where usually I would just play my phone for 10 minutes or something, and I was really getting through some books that had been on my TBR for a long time. I thought it was kind of going to annoy me reading so many short books, because for me, short books just tend to get you into the story and the characters, and then they're over. And I thought it was going to be a little jarring to move from world to world so quickly, but in the end, I think it was more refreshing than anything else. So when I've been bored to tears by A Christmas Carol, I could then sort of switch over to the adventure of The Call of the Wild. And when I've been finding that middle grade contemporary just a little bit dull, I could switch over to the crazy whimsical nonsense of Alice in Wonderland. It was just a nice system that stopped me from being bored when I was reading, and it turns out that I really liked it. At the start of the challenge, I piled up all my TBR books on one side of my desk, and once I've read them, I took them out and put them in another stack. It was really satisfying to watch that TBR pile slowly shrinking, and I think it really motivated me to keep reading. I'm definitely thinking that's a technique I'm going to use in the future, so when I'm feeling kind of bogged down by a book, I can look over and see a stack of like 10 or so books that I'm really keen to read after I finish this one. That'll hopefully help me motivate myself rather than just giving up on a book. I think I'm actually going to keep working on this challenge. I know that seems kind of bizarre to work on a 30-day challenge for more than 30 days, but I've just been enjoying reading those shorter books so much, and I'm kind of curious to see how long it would take me to go through all 27 books that I'd set myself. I'm hoping about another 2 months to help me finish those last 17 books. Maybe. Plus I've just gotten so attached to my TBR pile, I don't really want to put them all back on the shelf and then just forget about them. So that is the end of my 30-day reading challenge. I really just had so much fun with this challenge, including lurking over on Twitter on the hashtag 30dayread. It was really nice to have such a group of lovely people there so we could help cheer each other on. If you did the reading challenge, definitely let me know down below how you ended up going, whether you met your goals or not. And let me know if there are any other sort of long haul challenges like this. I'm not really suited to those short challenges like the booktubeathon just because I'm such a slow reader. But if there are any other sort of longer challenges which essentially let you set your own pace, I'd definitely be interested in them. So let me know if you know of any at all because I would love to have a go at them. Alright, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you next time. Bye. Awesome t-shirt is awesome.